Most people aren't lacking intelligence when it comes to investing. Most people lack confidence, and that hesitation is exactly what keeps people stuck on the sidelines while everyone else quietly builds wealth through long term investing. When I first started, I had serious imposter syndrome. I felt like I didn't know enough to be in the game, and honestly, I didn't even know where to start. I was stuck in decision paralysis. I didn't know the difference between a stock and an ETF. I didn't know how to use these investing apps. And I'm being real with you, I didn't know jack shit. But fast forward to today, and I have a completely different mindset when it comes to investing. And I have built an investment portfolio of over $280,000. Confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. Confidence comes from taking action before you feel ready and learning and improving as you go. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build your investing confidence in a step-by-step process so you can stop second-guessing every move, so you can stop overthinking every decision, and you can start investing like someone who knows what they're doing, even if you're just getting started. Also, in this video, I get my first chopper gunner in so long, so stick around and watch how I get it. It was about time I started doing something in some of my Modern Warfare 2 gameplays. So first things first, you need to start small and you just need to get in the game. You got to just sub yourself in the game, man. You are the head coach and you are also the star player. Confidence in investing is built through repetition. What I recommend is starting with an amount of money that's almost too small to stress about. Let's just say for this example, you start with $100, an amount where if the market dips the very next day, you're not going to lose sleep over it. What you're really doing here is training your brain to get comfortable with the process of investing. And as silly as it sounds, even moving that money from your checking account into an investment account can feel uncomfortable at first. There's this psychological fear of losing that safety net and knowing you just can't instantly grab that $100 anymore. But that's exactly the mindset shift that you need to overcome this hurdle and start thinking long term. Do not let money control you. You have to be in control of your money and be thinking about how you can start having the money work for you instead of you having to always work for the money. It took a while for me to get over that hump too. I used to get paid and feel excited just seeing my bank balance go up, when in reality, I should have just been excited about how much I had available to invest. Once you actually get that money invested, you've already cleared the biggest hurdle. You start learning how to buy, how to hold your investments. You see the green and you also see the red days in the market. And more importantly, you learn how to personally react to it. Everyone's reaction is going to be different. And once you realize that nothing bad will actually happen as long as you are a long term investor and you're thinking decades into the future, not week by week, that is when the fear starts to fade away and your investing confidence really starts to build. Then, once you get the ball rolling and you start gaining experience with investing, then it comes time to simplify your investing strategy. When I narrowed down to just a few ETFs that I now only invest in, I started to feel more confident with my investing abilities because I was not overwhelmed trying to track dozens of different stocks and dozens of different ETFs that I was invested in. And I wasn't stressed trying to keep up with company news. Having that simple and proven investment strategy has helped me build a lot of confidence. And I know a lot of people can simply just start with something like the S&P 500 or investing in like the US total stock market or maybe the world stock market. You just have to pick a very simple investment strategy, stick with it. Then you can go about your life doing your routines with confidence that your investments will yield a certain return over a long period of time. When I started doing this, I had a lot of confidence because I had a strong conviction in the S&P 500 because I have seen that historically it returns a 10% yield every single year over a long period of time. Now there will be some years where the S&P could drop like 20%. There could also be some years where it gains 30%. But I know that if I hold this position for decades and decades and decades, it will average out to 10%, historically speaking. Obviously, past performance does not guarantee future returns, but investing in the S&P 500 for me carried more of a peace of mind than me having to choose individual stocks and hoping they turn out to become the next Nvidia. Everyone's strategy is going to be different, but I'm just telling you what happened with my experience and how my experience has led to more confidence in my investing abilities. And that confidence really starts to snowball when you begin hitting key milestones along your investing journey. Your first $1,000 invested feels so huge because that's when it finally starts to feel real. You start to be like, oh shit, I can do this investing thing. I remember just being thrilled that I was even willing to commit $1,000 to my investing. Then next thing you know, you hit $10,000. And then you realize you're actually building something. And then after $10,000, I'm not going to lie, it takes a while to get to your $100,000. But then you hit that coveted $100,000 milestone. That is when the momentum is really going to start to kick in and you start seeing the positive effects of compounding interest. If you do nothing once you hit $100,000 and the market goes up 10%, that is a free $10,000. It just starts to get easier from there. When I hit my first $100,000 in my 401k, I really felt like my investing confidence was at a peak. Then I just had this urge come over me that I wanted to keep learning more about investing and continue to get better. That is the beauty of getting confidence with investing. It is going to take a lot of time and patience to get there, but trust me, it is worth it. Long term investing is the best way to build sustainable wealth, and it has proven that way over time. And do not fall for any of these get rich quick schemes. There is like maybe only 1% of people that become successful off that. I do not want you guys losing your hard earned money. On top of that, things like maxing out your 401k and your Roth IRA become even more personal wins for you that can boost your confidence as an investor. Because every one of those milestones is proof to yourself that you're doing this right. It's no longer just theory or something that you could be trying out. When you hit these milestones, you're actually someone who invests consistently and can prove that you can build wealth over time. And that's where, like I was telling you about, the real confidence will kick in for you. You're going to have confidence once you start hitting these milestones and once you start implementing some of these tactics I'm talking about in this video. But there's just a level to it, right? Once you can prove that you can do it over a long period of time. Now let's put this entire video into a real world hypothetical example because I want you to see what happens when you have investing confidence, and I want you to also see what happens when you don't have investing confidence. Let's say you got person A. Person A, who is 22 years old and his name is Chad, just graduated college. Chad doesn't know anything about investing, but has maybe read a thing or two from a book or maybe has stumbled upon my videos or something equivalent. But Chad just has enough confidence to get started investing. So he builds up an emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses, sticks to a basic budget, opens up a Roth IRA, and even though Chad is not sure what to pick for his investments, he keeps it simple and just invests in something like the S&P 500. He may know later down the road that he wants to change, but he's just going to pick something that he's read about and he's heard about. It doesn't have to be perfect, but Chad's going to dollar cost average. Chad invests consistently and he doesn't overthink it. Then person B comes along. Person B is Chad's cousin named Brad, who spends his entire 20s hesitating with investing. Brad is nervous about the news because he's always scrolling on social media. He's always reading all of the doom and gloom headlines and what's about to happen halfway across the world. And Brad's unsure which ETF is the best way to get rich quick. Brad might get into option trading because he hears that's a good way to get rich quick. Brad doesn't build an emergency fund and ends up spending most of his money on the weekends trying to relive his college glory days. So there's nothing left for him to invest when he's looking at his bank account on Sunday evening. Now you fast forward 10 years, and now Brad is at the prime age of 32, and then he just now gets into investing and becomes serious with it. And Brad opens up a Roth IRA and starts maxing it out because he's like, oh shit, I was fucking around for 10 years and missed out on this investing thing. So I better start playing catch up. But here's the reality. Even if both of them invest the exact same amount moving forward, Chad is going to be so much further ahead than Brad, and it's not even close. That extra decade of investing and letting your money compound can easily mean hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, of a difference by retirement. And that gap doesn't come from being smarter. That gap doesn't come from picking better investments necessarily or timing the market perfectly. That gap came from having just enough confidence to start early and stay consistently invested, even though your strategy might not be perfect at the beginning. So let this example be the wake-up call for those younger folks that are watching this video to start investing and take it seriously because you don't want to be older and be like Brad and maybe have a regret about not investing earlier. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer here. If you are older and you're watching this video, and you may be in the same situation as this hypothetical Brad, it is not the end of the world for you. The best time to start building these investing habits is right now. Actually, the best time was yesterday, but you've heard the slogan, the second best time is right now. Even if you did miss out on some of the earlier years of investing. And take it from me, I literally missed out on like 8 years of maxing out my Roth IRA. So you're not alone here. This is your wake up call to turn it into high gear this year and start taking your investing seriously. So that's all I have for this video. If you enjoy the content, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more investing and personal finance content. If you take anything from this video, be more like a Chad, don't be like a Brad. As always, I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.